In this video, I'm going to do a quick unboxing and installation of the Tesla style radio on my 2017 Cadillac ATS. I purchased this unit from Alibaba.com from a seller that I was able to negotiate the price down to $475. That price did include shipping as well as a high definition backup camera to replace the stock camera, and the unit arrived in just under 3 weeks. And at this point you can kind of see what is included in the box. It was well packaged, not overly packaged or taped up like most products that come from China. And just turn the box around here, you can see it came packaged in a very well protected foam, and I was surprised to see white gloves, white cotton gloves included. And this is just a microfiber cleaning cloth. So here is the unit itself. It's very thin, very lightweight, and I'm just showing you the back of the unit here. So you can see this is a 2 and 64 gig device. It's a 10.4 inch full HD screen for this is 14 to 17 Cadillac ATS. Everything else in the box is kind of out of place, but there is a completely useless product manual here. And here's all your wiring and cables. I'm going to break this down for you a little bit later, but here is the high definition backup camera that was included. This is a direct stock replacement. It's just in high definition, so it looks much better than the camera that comes standard on the Cadillac ATS. This is going to be used to connect that camera. This is the longest piece of wiring that is included in the kit here. And then this is a bag of all the remaining wires that will be needed to complete the installation. And then finally there is a small speaker. This is what you're going to get some of your sound from the unit. Whenever you do light touches on the screen, you're going to get sound coming from here. The rest of your sound is going to come through the car's normal audio. Alright, so at this point I'm just kind of putting everything back in the box so that we can get it out to the garage for the installation. Okay, so now I'll try to break down everything that's in the box for you. This is everything separated out, everything that came in the box. This first item that I'm highlighting is again the high definition backup camera. These two wires are going to be used to connect that camera to the head unit. This wire is your dual USBs, so once you connect this, you'll have 2 USBs that you can use. This bag is what you're going to use to actually connect the camera again. It's actually could also be used to connect several cameras, so if you have a left camera, a right camera, kind of like the 360 option that you should be able to do. That's not needed for this application, but it is an option. This next piece is for a DVR, so if you're going to install like a front-facing camera or DVR system, that's the bag that you would use. This piece is the aux input, so once this is installed, you're going to run the wire to your aux, the AUX input in the armrest, and this is where you're going to get your audio from. This bag contains your GPS antenna. And this is your main harness. This is what you're going to connect your original harness to, and then this will connect to the head unit. And then finally, this is the speaker that I spoke of earlier. Okay, so let's get to the installation. First, you need to take apart your car. You need to open up the center console. You need to remove these 2 trim pieces on either side of the cup rest and gear shift. They come off really easily. You just have to be careful with these clips. Make sure that you don't snap anything or break anything because they just clip into plastic. And here I actually removed a piece that had broken when I removed my trim piece. So just be careful when you remove those trim pieces. Same thing on this one. Again, they come out really easily. You don't need a tool or anything. You should be able to just pry it up with your hands. Just be careful. You're not going to break any of the clips that hold the piece in place. Once you get that off, you want to pop up this top part, the screen cover. It's like a speaker grill up there. Sorry you can't really see it very well, but again, no tools required. It did just pop straight up, no issues. And at this point, you're going to expose 4 screws. They're all 7mm screws. There are 2 at the top under that grill, and then there are 2 here that I'm pointing at. Once you get all 4 of those out, there's another 2 that are really hard to get to, but I'll show you those as we get to them. So at this point, I'm just going to take out my impact driver, and we're going to get those out. So every screw that you deal with on this installation is a 7mm, so you don't have to worry about changing back and forth between anything. Just keep your 7mm handy and you'll be all set. So I was able to quickly get these 4 bolts out. You're going to notice at this point that the unit is pretty loose. You should be able to pull it up, as you can see here. But this is where I noticed, there's 2 more screws holding it into place, and they're really hard to get to. So what you have to do is pry up this center console. I thought that would be enough. Prying it up is not that difficult. I was afraid to kind of break this, but it's really a very sturdy piece, not a big deal to just pry it up. And once it's up, you can even get it up as high and as deep as the cup holders are, but you can't move it backwards because the gear shift is in park. So what you have to do, or what I had to do here, was start the car. Put the car into neutral, turn the car off, and then put the car in drive, so that's as far back as the gear shift will go. At that point, you should be able to get to the 2 screws, and I'll show you that here. So now that that gear shift is out of the way, I was able to get to those 2 screws. It is a little bit difficult to get it out still because it's so tight. If you have a 5-speed, you're going to be in a much better situation than I am here, but with a little bit of finesse, you will be able to just pull the radio straight up and out. And now I'm just going to kind of show you what's behind the radio so you can see the wiring harnesses that you need to pull out. There's only 3 back here, so it's really simple to take this stuff out. Kind of trying to do it and hold the camera, so I'll just freeze frame a couple of pictures here so you can see. These are the 3 that you're trying to remove. And they should come out very simply. So now we're going to take a look at how I wired up that rear camera. So as you can see here, you can hide the wire along the passenger side. That you can remove these trim pieces and just slide the wire in through here, which is what I did, back through the trunk, and then you can see it comes up right through here. And at this point I have a lot of slack wire, but I'm just trying to get it connected to make sure that it works. So you come up through there, follow the hinge that rotates up, and this plastic piece just pops open so that you can slide the wire in through here along the trim panel underneath or behind the trunk, and you'll see your yellow and red connectors. These are coming directly off of the HD camera. And I'll show you some how this wiring works here in just a second. So you connect the yellow to the yellow, you connect the black to the red, and then as we scroll back to right here, you'll see this is what you need to do. So from the yellow connector, there's a hanging red wire, and you probably saw that, and if you look back at the video, you can see it as well. You want to solder that wire to the black wire that you see here. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to obtain power, and you're trying to have this activate when you put on your reverse camera, or when you put the vehicle into reverse, without having to try to wire it into the third brake light, or try to wire it into a resistor or something odd. And at this point, I'm going to kind of clean it up and show you what it looks like once all the wires are hidden. So here you can see everything is hidden along the trunk trim panels. Comes up through that section there. I put this plastic hinge cover back into place. Everything is hidden there. Comes up into the trunk. I've put some zip ties around the excess wire, and zip ties along the connectors. And then as you look up here, you can actually see direct stock replacement. It pops right into place, no problem. On the other side, okay, so this is the back of the new head unit. The main cable obviously plugs in. Again, the cable that you removed from the original head unit, it plugs directly in. There's only one way this stuff can go. Each one of the wiring harnesses that are included can only go into one location. So again, there are no instructions, but if you take a look at every wire and every connector, it can only go in one way, so you can't put in anything incorrectly. This is the wire that I'm talking about on the other end. So again, that yellow wire, or the yellow connector, will have a red wire hanging off of it. You want to connect it to this green wire here. This green wire will say rear camera power, or rear power, or camera power. That means it will always have power. So you want to take the red wire coming off of this end, yellow connector, and solder it to this green wire. Now I actually, when I was finished, put a piece of heat shrink tubing over that. But as you can see, this is the connection that you need to make sure that you will have power to that rear camera. Like I said, everything else is really plug and play. There's really no way you can mess this up. So I don't have everything connected here that you're looking at. I just wanted to make sure that the system was going to work. And this is the quickest way to do it, was just to connect these very basic pieces. That one wire is short, that blue wire that I was just showing you, it plugs in here, but it's really short coming out of the Cadillac, so I couldn't really plug it in and show you where it goes. But this is where it will plug in. Like I said, everything else is going to plug in with no problem. You're not going to have any confusion as to where anything else plugs in. Alright, these next three photos actually show you all the connections. This is from kind of the top, looking directly at it. You can see where all the connectors go. Again, you can't make a mistake here, but I just wanted to kind of show you as best I could. This would be from the driver's side, looking at the unit, laying on its face. And this would be from the passenger side, looking at the unit, laying on its face. One thing I didn't show you was that you do need to keep this trim piece, these two trim pieces that are like this black chrome color. You will have to attach those to the new head unit, because as you can see here, nothing is included. It's just a blank piece on either side, so you do need to keep the trim pieces from your original head unit and attach them to this unit so that it fits properly. And finally, this is what it looks like installed. All the trim pieces are back in place. Overall, it took me about an hour and a half to complete this installation. That's with zero help. That's with no videos or tutorials to watch. So you should be able to complete this install in about an hour from start to finish. I just wanted to add this little end piece because what you're looking at here, I put the GPS antenna under this top screen part and I got 0 GPS signal. So I moved the GPS antenna to the windshield. That's what you want to do as well. And you can see it running here in this picture. This is the only place you can see the wire, but it runs along here and then goes up along the A pillar, up along here and over here to right beside the rearview mirror. Much better GPS signal there, so I just wanted to point that out because I didn't show you during the installation where I put that. So here's a photograph of the unit up and running. Had no issues once the installation was complete. Of course you need to go in and tweak it to your liking, and I am in the process of doing a review. I've been putting a couple of photos out on the forums to try to have users generate questions that they may have that I can answer during the review. So if you have any questions you'd like to have me answer, just leave them down in the comment section below and I will add them to the list and I will address those questions in the review video. So thanks very much for watching. I hope I answered all of your questions. If not, please leave them in the comments below and I'll help you to the best of my ability with your installation. Thanks.